bam bam.
This video is fair use. It is transformative and is protected under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, reporting, teaching, and more.
I don't know. I almost feel like maybe I shouldn't, huh?
Yeah, well, you could think about it.
So, I know
I'm definitely going to address it. I'll say on my channel, I'm going to address some stuff just because it's interesting. And there are still some people, I know what was bothering you was that there are some people who seem to think that you did something you didn't do because there's so many lies going around.
Yeah, you guys were talking about the whole thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
We're talking about the whole thing with the Gannon autopsy photos and stuff. I do want to address some things, and like, I would love to do an open panel, but I am a little afraid just because I'm afraid of like just trolls coming in to like ruin the live stream. Not because I'm afraid of like, you know, you guys having like hard questions or serious questions or coming at me. That's fine. But, you know, people could ruin whole live streams by doing like those bombs and stuff. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I do want to answer and clear up some of the misinformation going around about it, because I'm hearing so much stuff and I just want the whole truth to be out and exactly what happened and what it is. And so.
And there's a lot, like for those of you who who have been around and maybe you just aren't online that much, like you might have missed some of like the craziness of it. And it definitely took a turn at a certain point where it just got, in my opinion, just ridiculous. And unfortunately, this is something that comes with the internet, and it could happen to you. It could happen to someone else you care about. And it's good to familiarize yourself with it, because it definitely changed. Like the issue at the beginning wasn't even there anymore, and it just changed into something completely different and just absolutely crazy. But I've never dealt with anything like that before, so it was an experience even for me. I know it was for you.
My eyes to a lot of things. Like, wow, like I feel like I learned a lot through all that. And
Did you really learn something? Because what we have upcoming here sure doesn't sound like you learned anything. It also sure doesn't sound like you're sorry. Not one bit sorry. You're still justifying all this. Gross. How are those sensitivity classes, by the way? How'd they go? Yeah.
And the reason I want to do a video is just to get like, so the misinformation, because there's still stuff, like even Randy, I talked to Randy and he's asking me questions like some of the questions I want to answer. And it's just like, no, like that's not true. Or that's not true. Some of this stuff, it's like, it's misinformation going around about it. And I'll take accountability for what I did, but I want it to be what I did and not like lies. You know what I'm saying? And I want the truth to be out there, and people are twisting things and they're just not telling it accurately. So I just, like I said, I'll take accountability, but I want it to be for what is the truth and what I did, and not all this other stuff that's got blown way out of proportion. And, so I want to figure out a way where I can do a panel in a way where people can ask me any other questions they have.
I mean, you can do a panel, but prepare yourself. It is going to be a shit show. And the reason I think that is because you haven't taken proper accountability for this. You're making excuses. You're saying people are lying. This is a load of BS, and you are not accountable. Why did you bother apologizing if you're not actually sorry? If you don't feel you did something wrong? Because that's what it's sounding like to me.
And I'll be 100% honest. Like, ask me whatever. I have nothing to hide. but I don't know how to go about doing that where we don't get like a bunch of crazy people. Does anybody have any like recommendations? I don't know. Or do you think I should just either that, or I'm going to have to just like take questions from people in the chat, like read them. But I feel like it might be better to let people up. But I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it, because I want everybody's voice. Like, anybody has a problem with me, if you want to yell at me, if you want to ask me, but as long as, just get it all out. But I want to be able to answer all the questions, and I want to be able to, say what happened, and you can hear it right from me.
One suggestion would be you make a community post and address it in a video and say you're taking questions and people can leave them in the community post and then you can address them. But if I was your lawyer or your PR person, my recommendation would be don't do it. It's going to be a shitstorm. Yeah, just my opinion. Probably not the best idea. I mean, I'd like to watch it. But yeah, if I'm being honest.
I don't know how to do it, but I'm planning on doing it this next weekend is when I ideally want to do it. So yeah, so I got to figure that out. But, and then Julie, go ahead. You're going to do a video, you said.
I want to do a video too. And I noticed, I just saw in chat some of you guys mentioning Brian Entin. I'm going to talk about the Brian Entin thing also. Because I have some, I was going to say insider information about it, which sounds way more exciting than it actually is. But yeah, not a good person, apparently.
I know
so you really think that calling out Brian Entin is a good idea after all this? Okay then, you do that. Great idea. And I'll be here for it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I definitely.
I wasn't, some big fan of his prior to that, but I always heard other people talk about how great he is. So I was blown away. But there's some information that you guys might not know that I'm going to touch on about him, just to give people a heads up, not to like drag him or whatever, because I'm going to just be open and honest about it. I'm not trying to be dramatic about anything, but.
Darksy, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Brian Entin was somebody that I trusted for my information, my true crime information. I thought he was credible. I thought for sure he fact checks on his cases, but how he handled that tells me he doesn't fact check.
He doesn't.
He didn't fact check with me. So the fact that he just ran with all that without fact checking is going to make me doubt his stories. When he comes out with a story on the cases, I'm going to doubt it because I know he doesn't fact check. So that he disappointed me so freaking much.
Not only that, but then the email. So yeah, I don't know if you're interested.
Well, that part, but you're going to go
get into that on my channel. Yeah.
Yeah, Julia, do you mean like you brought it like, yeah, when you like brought that in that way last week, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about it like that. Wow, that's just messed up.
Slimy.
Yes, it is. And what was I going to say? Wait, I had one more thing to say. Yeah, so oh yeah, and I didn't double check it, but I heard after he caused the damage, after it was done, after everybody's not going to go rewatch his edited version, after he put out misinformation, probably to cover his butts, somebody told me he edited out some of the misinformation, but the damage is already done. Do you think people are going to rewatch your edited version? Everybody already saw the original version. That's very freaking irresponsible.
Okay, this here, to me, is laughable. Zav, you don't even go bother correcting the misinformation that you put out. I mean, let's just think of Kylie's case and all of that misinformation. Did you go back and clean all that up? Did you remove every single person that you decided may have taken part in the crime? That wasn't even a crime. Did you go back and remove all that misinformation? All of what you put on those kids? I don't think so. I don't think you did. You put out misinformation all the time, and you don't give the respect of going back and changing it. So there's that. And I still think going after Brian Entin is a bad idea. But if you decide to do it, I'm here for it. I just don't think it's a good look. I think you should tuck your tail behind your legs and either disappear and go do something else, or move on, apologize, no excuses, and that's it. Be the bigger person.
So the fact is like, you know what I'm saying? That just shows you he did have misinformation. So you could believe him or believe me, but he edited it out because he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? But the fact is he should have fact checked before he freaking broadcast to thousands of people. You know, just, oh, it's messed up. I mean, I don't even know if he edited out I was just told he edited out some of the misinformation, but that was after the fact. Like I said, you watch like a video, who's going to rewatch
it later? Yeah.
Rewatch it later. So it's like, it's just messed up. It's messed up. And even, well, I'm not even gonna say anything else, but yeah. So yeah, guys, so look for that maybe this weekend. And then Juliet, I just wanted to clarify what actually happened, and that I personally, and I'm not speaking for both of us, I'm speaking for myself, I'm personally confused as to why that backlash happened. I mean, I'm not, because I get how the internet works, and I've, but it's just a lot of it isn't genuine, and I kind of want, I'm ideally hoping someone who really does, at this point, still find it to be your actions to be an outrage, a complete outrage that they're very upset over. I'd love to talk to someone. About that, and maybe have them come up on my channel. Because I'm not seeing, and I'm saying that because I'm not seeing it anymore. I think that the people who are outraged were getting the wrong information. There were some people who were like, oh, I don't know if you should have done that or not, which I think is a totally valid response. But like, that's it. That's the extent of it. Beyond that, I think that people either got the wrong information and that's why they were outraged, or they're not actually outraged. Including some other creators too, because I was just talking to someone in chat who said I was surprised at the reactions of the other true crime creators, and yeah, so am I, because we know, because there are, and I want to get all into this, but there's right now, and there's probably way more. There's 3 channels, and there was 4. One took them down the day my apology video went up. This person took his video down, but there's still 3 up, and there's probably more because I didn't go searching. 3 people that have the exact same photos up on YouTube as we speak right now, respectable freaking channels, and not one freaking word about them.
If you're talking about the ones from the trial, those are not the same. Those photos are grainy. Not only that, those photos were on a very tiny little TV screen shown with another TV screen. You could barely tell what was there. There's a huge difference between you making a video, zooming in, and talking about all the different things you see, including maggots on the body of an 11-year-old boy who had been in a suitcase in the heat, in the cold. I just can't. What you did is not the same as when they showed it in the trial.
And I don't care, I'm going to get on to this because the photos that I had were not some special photos. They were the photos they showed at the trial. And I would love to be able to compare. I would love to be able to take these channels that have them up on YouTube right now and compare my photos to them to show you that they're exact same. But I can't do that now, can I? I can't. But I would love to, because they're the exact same ones. And yet no backlash. And they were trying to destroy me. Like everybody, I have the worst reputation. And nobody saying a word about them. Yeah. I try to make it a little bit more private because it's a little bit more sensitive information, right? Something that maybe is not okay for YouTube because there are kids on there. So I thought, you know what?
See that tiny little TV screen there in the top right corner? Well, that is what they showed the autopsy pictures on. And any pictures or videos that they played. You could barely see it. Plus, the pictures were grainy. As far as I know, the jury did get to see the pictures. But the parents were able to leave the courtroom when those pictures were even put on that screen, even a little blurry. They gave them the option. But what you've done is put them online for anyone to find, because they're everywhere now. You know that, Zav Girl, they're everywhere now. You do know that Landon had to immediately grab her daughter's phone, who is a young teenager, and try and block any images that she may come across. And she's got to worry about that now for the rest of those 2 baby girls' life. And there's another one on the way. Al and his wife are having a baby, from what I hear, allegedly. So that's 3 kids who now have to worry that they could run across it, because they're going to be curious one day, and they will have no idea what they're in for. And that's because of you. So this little TV screen here, not really gonna do much, okay? It's you that put out the clear pictures with the zooming in and the maggots and the body parts and everything else. You did that. And they made it to Reddit in a matter of minutes, and now they're everywhere. Slow clap for Zav, who doesn't even seem to have any remorse. It's nothing but excuses out of your mouth. I think you're gross, and I think you should either leave this platform or just shut up about it. Because what you're doing now is not helping. It made your apology basically null and void. Useless.
I don't think this is YouTube content. So I'm going to be a little bit more responsible and put it on my Patreon. That's all there is to it. Not that, oh, you're trying to make $3. It was on my Patreon, which costs $3 to be a member. And then you get all the videos on it. It wasn't anything specific for that video. $3, you get all the videos on my Patreon. And that was one of the videos that was on my Patreon. I just tried to, number one, I didn't think it was appropriate for YouTube. I didn't even think it would be allowed on YouTube. Isn't that what Patreon is for? Isn't that what Patreon is for? It's for material that isn't appropriate for YouTube. You're supposed to be able to do it on Patreon because it's a personal thing. And it's like a lot of people, like a lot of true crime and stuff that YouTube won't let. They put it on Patreon.
It wasn't appropriate at all. It is a minor child's autopsy photos. A minor child who was not in a good situation. And, trigger warning, there was decomposition. These pictures are not appropriate for YouTube or anywhere, any platform. These should be private. The parents should be able to decide. And yes, the legal system with regard to FOIAs and getting records from the courts, there should be changes there. And you're about to comment on that. And what you said is disgusting. People are doing that, trying to send letters and stuff, because that is the right thing to do. I guess you would just never understand, Zav. You'll never, ever, ever get it. Clearly. Even when your Patreon, whatever it's called, videos were getting removed because of how foul they were, you kept trying to put them back up. You kept trying to defend yourself. You defended yourself for days. This is how I know your apology is a piece of crap. Your apology is useless. It meant nothing. It was to try and save face because you got called out internationally. So you're not sorry one bit.
Why was that bad that I was actually a little bit more responsible with it?
Yeah. Steel Ribbon said, sorry. Yep. Now there's bored housewives trying to influence legislation into Congress. I'm with you on the bored housewives thing. I have a lot to say about that too.
Yeah, you're both gross. I know of at least 2 petitions that are going around to help let Congress know that people want changes to those FOIA requests, specifically in regards to having minors' autopsy photos released to random people who want to put it on YouTube and Patreon and any other platform. They shouldn't be released at all without the parents' permission. Anyway, the links to those will be in the description so that you can hopefully sign it. And I'm really not sure what is funny about any of that, but you two keep giggling. Just like in part 1 of my video I made yesterday. The giggles are a little bit disgusting.
But I swear it had nothing to do with making more money. Oh, I'm going to make more. Let me put it on
you would have.
It
You
has
would
to
have
do with
charged more if you were really, that's what it was about.
yeah,
$3.
it had nothing to do with it. It had to do with it. I didn't think it was appropriate material for YouTube. First of all, I didn't think it would even be acceptable on YouTube.
Right.
Because I didn't even realize till after that people had it on YouTube. So I didn't even think it was going to be acceptable, right?
It is not appropriate anywhere. Not only that, but I do recall you saying that you needed to recoup the costs for getting that package. So that's interesting. If it wasn't about money, but you needed to recoup the costs off of a little 11-year-old boy who was brutally taken out of this world. I think you're disgusting. All of it. It's all disgusting. And there's not a lot of words that I can even think of right now to describe it properly that would do it justice. Disgusting is the only word I can think of right now. You make me feel sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And it's crazy that like other people have done the same thing before you and there was no backlash.
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
get other YouTube true crime creators who know that other people have done the same thing with no backlash coming out and saying, oh, she should have known better. Like, how would you have known better? How would you have known better if literally other people have done it and everyone seemed okay with it when they did it? You'd have to be psychic to know better.
I know. Do you think, yeah, you guys think I would, like, come on, I didn't. Like, I thought it was a part of the cases. We always.
It is.
Yeah.
I still say, I know, I'm not speaking on behalf of you.
Yeah,
but
I guess I didn't know the bound. Now I'm learning the lines. I didn't know the line there because it was okay. You know what I'm saying?
It was okay. Okay, yeah, until suddenly it isn't, and everyone says you should have known that it wasn't okay. But meanwhile, it was okay up until that point, up until everyone decided it wasn't. Like, it's really, really crazy. Anyway,
but yeah, it definitely it's the people, and all the photos say people's exhibit, and just like when Michael Allen gets up there and insinuates that I got it. Well, Michael, I got it from Colorado. That's another thing. It came from Colorado. I have the emails to prove it. It wasn't from Florida. It's from the trial records. It was the court trial record.
Yeah, and then also, like, anyone, the thing is, like, for both of us, and I will speak on behalf of both of us at this point, like, anyone who was like, I don't know if you should have done that, or I'm not that big on autopsy photos, or maybe autopsy photos are okay, but not of a kid, all of that stuff, we both were like, oh, 100% legit, like, willing to listen and be like, oh, maybe we're seeing it wrong. You know what I mean? Like, those responses are fine. Like, it should be a conversation that's had, you know, like, should this, are we gonna, if everyone was like, you know what, we could talk about cases on YouTube, the true crime community, whatever, but let's all stay away from autopsy photos. Like, I personally wouldn't agree with that, but I'd be like, okay, if enough people are like, yeah, let's have that be where we draw the line, then 100%, yeah. But do you see what I mean? Like, the difference, a genuine response to this, where they disagree with it, sounds completely different than all of these other responses you've been getting, because it's not about the autopsy photos for those people.
It's not. And can I also say, everybody said, oh, everybody tried to tell you not to do it. That's a lie. It wasn't until after Queen Bee sent all of her people in to attack me.
No
I
one
want to
told
tell
me
you,
not
if you
to
look at my lives leading up to it, I probably at least over a week mention it on a few lives, a few videos, feeling you guys out. Would anybody be interested in autopsy photos? What do you guys think? I'm thinking about releasing them. Would anybody be interested? Who would be interested? Not one single person said, Tiff, don't do it. It's a bad idea. Not one single person said. Only people said, some people didn't say anything, but the people that did respond said, yeah, I'm interested. Hey, I'm interested. Yeah, I'd do it. So that's a freaking lie. Nobody said that. And you can go back through my freaking live streams on the live chat and look when I mentioned it. And I was trying to see, like, hey, who would be interested? Is this something you guys are interested in? Like, let me know. Yeah, Tiff. Yeah. Bam. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just.
So there you have it again, folks. It's everybody else's fault. Zav Girl has no accountability in this. It's not her fault. Nobody told her it was wrong. Come on, girl. You knew it was wrong. You did it anyway. You hid it behind a paywall because you knew it was wrong. It's disturbing, and it's even more disturbing now that you've heard all of the feedback and the backlash that you're still justifying it. Disturbing AF. And as I said before, your apology now means nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy.
When I hear live people like, they told you not to do it. That was not until after it was already up and Queen Bee sent her people over attacking me. So that's a lie. It's a freaking lie. Anyway, yeah. What are you laughing at, Julia?
I'm just laughing at the absurdity of it. Like another, like I'm just seeing it from a more of an outside perspective. Like another YouTuber sending people to do this is just sad. It's sad. I'm not. I mean, it is sad.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like I can't stand these people, but at the same time, it's like it's so sad that part of me does feel bad. Like, what are their lives like that they feel the need to do this? Just, you know what I mean? To send people after someone for no reason. Like, what are you?
I don't know.
What are you getting out of that?
I'm glad you guys know, like, everybody here, thank you. Because it's like, if anybody even knows me, they know I didn't have, like, they know, like, I just get so into cases. They know that there was nothing, like, no malicious intent, nothing. Like, I was just dug into this case. I really got into this case, you know, and I asked you guys and people wanted to see it. So,
someone I saw, we should wrap this up.
I know, I'm sorry,
but I did see like one comment that I was gonna, if I could, I know I screenshot it to use it in my video, but if I can find it again, I will. But it was just one like rando who commented on your apology video and summed it up perfectly by just saying, like, I think they said, I thought true crime equals autopsy photos. No, like that was it.
Wait. They said it as a joke, or what do you mean?
No, they were saying like they didn't get it at all. Like they thought autopsy photos was like part of it. Like, but they asked just so like innocently and like straightforward, and just like a short little. All the other comments were really long. That one was just like, I thought true crime equals autopsy photos, no, or something like that. And I was like, yep.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, it got so big. My nephews were watching that Penguin guy. They saw it. I just heard yesterday. My nephew said that basically my brother's ex-wife is all mad at me because she doesn't, she's like hearing these headlines, seeing what these people are saying. They're making me out to be this horrible, sick monster. So she's like mad at me because she hasn't got to hear the truth yet. And so like, but Case and Cam, I was like, did Case and Cam explain it? Because I'd explain this to my nephews because it's all over YouTube. Like, yeah. and my nephew Cam keeps saying, they keep saying you're an evil monster. He kept repeating that. It's like, oh, True Crime Investigates. Yes. Oh, we should do that. Sorry, I'm just seeing you now. I got a text from Missy like a while ago. And then when I saw it, then I didn't see you. And then, okay. So I'm glad I got to say hi to you. Thanks for coming. So yeah, did I cut you off, Juliet?
I don't know. I was just saying we should wrap it up.
Yeah, we should. But look for Juliet's video because she's going to be a lot better at articulating everything.
I just basically want to show what actually happened because a lot of you guys don't know. So that's all it is. It's not going to be anything too exciting.
Yeah, and thank you guys. And I know like a lot of the supporters, like I had to keep like telling myself, and Juliet had to keep reminding me, like, it's like you guys, like it was like, for some reason I was only seeing the negative because they were all at the top of the comments and stuff. And it just looked like overwhelmingly like, oh my God, it was overwhelming. And then I get emails where people are like, we want to stick up for you, but we're getting bashed in the comments. Like you can't even say anything because they're getting attacked. It's just out of control. But, anyway, yeah. All right. All Dragonfly, but thank you guys. This live was like better than I thought it would be.
Yeah. You guys are seriously the best. Yeah. Like, I can't even put it into words how much.
We were ready to get attacked. Like I thought I was going to get attacked. Like I was ready. I was like all nervous. I was like, okay, let's get ready to get attacked, but I just have to do it sometime. And I'm like pleasantly surprised that you guys are all here, you know? So thank you.
And saying such kind things. Like it's really, you guys are so great. You really are.
Yeah, you really are.
It means a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me go over. Okay. So the poll real quick before I close this out. So yes, 33 said she.
Friggin' right, she's pissed off. I'd be pissed off too if you were my family member. I'd be embarrassed. I'd chastise you. And then I'd probably have to support you because you're my family member. But damn, people are pissed because it's what happened. So now you're gonna go talk to your family member and manipulate them into believing it's not what they said. It's just not true. They lied. They stretched the truth. Bullshit. You did this. Take accountability. Do a proper apology. Actually, you know what? It's way too late. You already effed it up. You've already shown us exactly who you are. I think it's too late for you. And I know there's going to be plenty of us who remind people exactly what went down with this and with Kylie's case as well. So don't think you're going to come back on here and people are just going to forget over time. Oh, it'll blow over. Yeah, no, not going to blow over. Had you been really apologetic, really sorry, learned a lesson in all this, that'd be different. But you're literally doubling down. You're sitting here laughing, and you seem to be justifying it. So that tells me all I need to know. You're not sorry. You don't give an F. And I think you're not a very good person. And I think you're here for money. And I think you play dumb a lot. And it's a game. Just my thoughts. Oh, and you're one of the biggest tragedy pimps on here.
How to do a live, because I think it would be like, what if you go up there with me and we like from next weekend?
I don't know if you're going to get anyone who isn't a crazy person, who is still at this point, after knowing like all the stuff that isn't true, is still going to really feel strongly enough to really argue against you and what you did. And do you know what I mean?
So you
I
don't think I
those
should
people
do it?
exist anymore. I think there's people who are full of crap, who are gonna just want the drama. And I think the people who really disagreed with what you did are normal people who are over it because you apologize, the video's down, and it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Let me just be clear on this. This is not drama. This is a family's real life. A family who lost their child. A family who had their child exploited by you in the worst way, and by a lot of other people. Sure, there are some true crime creators out here doing it correct and right, showing facts. You, on the other hand, not so much. You're highly inappropriate, and you exploit. You exploit victims. That's what a tragedy pimp is. Okay?
You know what I mean? Like, those people aren't going to want to come up and like argue why you should not have a channel anymore or anything like that, because they probably don't feel that way, because it's just the problem is fixed.
It gave them content for a couple weeks, didn't it? As they went on live every day talking about it, like, oh,
Creators, you mean?
that means that makes it all better. Just like bringing all this, yeah. What's that?
The creators you're talking
Yes,
about.
yeah. All the creators that did videos about it over every night, talking about it for day after day, but
knowing, and then keep in mind, the true crime creators knew that this was something that's been done before, because they've been doing this for a while, and they still talked about how horrible it is. And
it was a personal attack. It started a personal attack by we know what channel. It was a personal thing because, and then I also wanted to address the whole Kylie, because there's people that just say, oh, what she did with Kylie. I want to talk about that because people are lumping me doing stuff that I didn't do with Kylie. And that's another thing I want to clear up on the video next weekend, because I have people with the whole Kylie thing from both sides. I have the people that wanted me to stop talking about it and the people that were mad that I stopped talking about it. And I got attacked from both angles on the Kylie thing. But I want to talk about that too, because that got brought up a lot. Well, this is not their first time. Look what you did with Kylie. And then they're falsely saying that I did stuff that, if you guys were there through the whole thing, you'll know that I didn't do some of the stuff that they're saying. So, but I hate it because people that weren't there, they're hearing that and they're thinking, oh, she did this and this and this.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with, yeah, let me just say it real quick. I never, not once did I ever say or insinuate Kylie didn't exist. I did the opposite and said Ryan was wrong. I purposely did tribute showing young pictures of Kylie because he said there's no Kylie pictures because there's barely any Kylie pictures. So that next day after he said that, I did this big tribute with tons of Kylie pictures with her young and all different ages and said he was wrong. Just because you have a guest that thinks something does not mean that means that I say it, that I take on that opinion. And somehow people are still saying, oh, you said he didn't exist. I never said that. I said he was wrong. Kylie exists. There's pictures. There's tons of pictures of her. And I found him. I went out and found him to show that she exists. So I never, ever even insinuated she didn't exist. So that is a freaking lie.
You chose to continue to have that guy on your panel over and over again. And we all know why, because we're not stupid. It brought you views. It brought you money. You exploited Kylie Rodney and her case for money. You spread misinformation in that case. You implied and accused young people of being involved in her disappearance. You showed a license plate of a minor. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if he was a minor, but he's a young adult or minor. You showed his social media, which had his full name. So basically, everyone was able to figure out who he was because you doxed him. Maybe not maliciously, but you did show all his information, enough for people to find him and harass him online because he had a scratch on his truck. Come on. You did a lot of wrong things in that case. Not only did you go live every single day for, 8-10 hours, which is exploitation, by the way, but you accused people who had nothing to do with her passing away. It was an accident, first of all, but you implied it wasn't, like a lot of other people did, and you accused innocent people. Those people got harassed. Those people are real-life people. This is not a game. This is not a TV show. It's not a reality show for you to make money on. Not only that, but you decided it was a good idea to go over her autopsy report as a non-professional. And you spoke about her diva cup, like just absolutely ridiculous things. You are a tragedy pimp. You've done a lot of things wrong, and the problem with it is that you haven't learned from it. You continue to double down on all of it. And people aren't going to let that go. It's not just going to go away and you're going to come back and everything's going to be fine and you're going to keep doing cases. You say you learned from it. Well, you sort of said you learned from it. But then you sit here and make excuse after excuse. Over and over, like it wasn't your fault. You're the victim. You got attacked. How about the real victims are the actual victims? The ones of, tragedies, crimes. Those are the real victims. The ones you exploit. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I think you're kind of trash, and I think you're disgusting. And I think anyone can make a turnaround and do better. But you gotta stop exploiting, blaming people, obsessing over these cases, and talking about them every single day. Those autopsy photos, icing on the cake. That could take you right out of here. 100% it could. You could have turned it around, but you didn't. You chose to double down, and you chose to make a really crappy apology. And the reason it's crappy is not because I want to pick it apart or something, but it's because after the apology, you continued to justify what you did. I think you're disgusting. I think you're a tragedy pimp. I wish you weren't on here. And not because I like cancel culture, but because I care about victims. And I care about their families. Because they deserve better. Better than people like you.
Just because I could respect somebody and support somebody and even like be friends and have them up, and that means that I have to, that means you agree with everything they say. That's not how it works, guys. That's not how it works. I don't have to be a jerk and treat somebody like crap if I disagree with them. That's just not how life works.